Have you ever been in a Scrum event or session with your Scrum team and felt that it was a total waste of your time? You only wanted to leave the meeting, the session, and do something else, something more productive. Everyone has experienced this at least once. Well, in this video, I'm going to share some powerful questions that you can use in your next events, sessions, meetings to guarantee that they are productive. I recommend that these questions are used by the person facilitating the event, session, meeting, usually the Scrum Master. But if you're a product owner watching this, a member of a development team, and really care for your team, you can use these questions. Use these questions in all the events, Scrum events, meetings, sessions to guarantee that these sessions are effective, productive, and everyone will like you in the team. Let's start with the most famous Scrum event, the daily Scrum. The goal of a daily Scrum is simple. The team together, everyone in the team should be working together in this session to craft the plan for the day, to get closer to the sprint goal, and to ensure that we are working only on high priority user stories, sprint backlog items, tasks. And with this in mind, you can ask the team, are we on track with a sprint goal, with the remaining time that we have until the end of a sprint? Do we feel that we will be able to complete and meet the sprint goal by the end of a sprint? Are we currently working on the most important task only, or are we working on low priority items? Ensure always that we are working on the sprint goal only. All the things that will bring us closer to a sprint goal. Any new high priority items, very important things, valuable things that we need to do to the customer, or any new of these items just cropped up, do we need to take action on that? What do we still need to learn in this sprint? Powerful question. And when you're asking all these questions, you are a facilitator of a session. You are here to make this session easier. So let the team talk. You're supporting the team. Let the team talk. The team knows how to answer all these questions. You're just here to make the session easier for everyone. Another question, powerful question is, have we identified any new risks, any impediment, any blockers which might prevent us from achieving, from getting closer to the sprint goal? Who needs help? Who could use some help? And who is available to help other people? The next event is the sprint planning, where the team defines what can be delivered in the coming sprint and how that work will be achieved. And the team also makes a commitment to deliver all these items. And with this in mind, you can ask the team, what are our key learnings from the previous sprint retrospective and sprint review that need to be considered in the sprint planning? Maybe we can start taking some key learnings, some action items from these key learnings and adding them to the next sprint to work on them, to improve the team, to grow the team and get closer to our release roadmap or sprint goal. Another question, important question, is the backlog, the product backlog ordered in terms of priority, ensuring that the most important tasks, user stories, the valuable things for the customer are always on top. For each item in the backlog, ask the team, what else do we need to know about this item to be able to fully commit as a team on getting this item done in the upcoming sprint? How many items do we feel as a team will be able to take in the coming sprint? Have we estimated these items? Do all these items meet the definition of ready? Do we need outside help to complete these items? Any dependencies that we need to be aware of right now? Have we identified any risk that can prevent us, that may prevent us from achieving the sprint goal? Who is taking time off in the upcoming sprint? Maybe someone is going on leave, on training, unavailable for any reason. How do we need to adjust the plan to accommodate for this updated capacity or new capacity? And the next Scrum event, I really love this event, is the sprint review. The sprint review is where the team shares what they have accomplished in the previous sprint. Share with all the stakeholders, the sponsors, anyone attending. The goal is to really celebrate small wins, really share that we have accomplished something, what we've learned, what can be improved, and really collect actionable feedback from all the attendees of these meetings. And with this in mind, you can ask the attendees of this session, what excites you? What was the most exciting thing about the product increment that we just showed you, that we just demoed? Any features that you want to add, any features you want to remove, any improvement items, any improvement on the things, the features, the service, anything that you would like to share, that you would like us to implement in the upcoming sprints. What should the next product increment look like? What are the top priority features, important features, valuable features that you want us to implement in the upcoming sprint? Do you have any suggestions to improve the future sprint reviews? And the next Scrum event is the sprint retrospective. Extremely important event. Sometimes you need to meet a deadline. The team needs to meet a deadline. Let's just skip the sprint retro. Nope, you don't do that. You need to do the sprint retro at the end of every sprint. Extremely important event. The goal of this event is simple, is to examine. The team needs to examine how the just completed sprint went as far as people, relationship, processes, and tools. This session is usually facilitated by the Scrum Master, who can ask for questions. What did we do well as a team in the just completed sprint? What did we do so well? What can be improved in the future sprints? What do we need to try? What do we want to try? New things maybe in terms of processes, tools. How can we improve our relationships among each other in the team? What do we need to stop doing in future sprints? What is not working right now and we want as a team to stop doing? What have we learned this sprint? What is the most important thing that we learned this sprint, and how can we use it to make the upcoming sprints even better? Does someone here want to share an appreciation for any other member of the team? And it's really important to also focus on action items and show that most talking points in this session have an action linked to them. Sometimes you can't have an action linked to them, but try to ensure that all items have an action linked to them, an action item which, as an owner, the person who owns this item doesn't need to do the item, just needs to ensure that this item is done. Needs to follow up on the item. Can be anyone who does this item. But action items, really important, because with action, this is where change happens. And ensure that everyone agrees on the actions that we decided, all the owners agree, and maybe even talk, when do we feel we can complete these action items in the upcoming sprint? Maybe we can take these items in the upcoming sprint. Just ask for questions. You can confirm that, and people can commit. The team can commit on that in the sprint planning, the next sprint planning session, which should be a few days later or a few hours later after the sprint retrospective. Which brings me to my next point. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now, and I'll see you in a few seconds.